Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I've got heckling from the audience already here. There's only 4 people. And there's 7 people online, so it's bank holiday weekend. We're a select group, and the question was, what page is it? It's going to be page 84. Shabbat evening service number 4. Earlier this afternoon, I put a song sheet on the KLS Facebook group, so if you want or need a transliterated song sheet to sing along at your house, you can open it now while we're getting organised. And I'm going to invite Sandra number 1 to come and light the candles for us.
Draw near, eternal God, as working day turns to Sabbath rest. You have been with us all the week, and yet we have often forgotten you. Now, kindling these lights, we say your name, remembering the love you have shown us, and in gratitude and thanks we turn to you, to bathe our hungry souls in your kindness. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvah tov v'tzivonu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Good Shabbat.
Good Shabbat. Does that match out? Okay, so we're at the bottom of page 84. Or chadash al Tzion ta'ir v'nizker kulanu meheira la'oro. May a new light shine upon Zion, and may we be worthy to see its splendour. On this day may we see the world in a new light. On this day let us be freed from desire for gain, from ambition for material things. On this day let us look beyond time and space towards eternity and know the blessing of peace. Now let me say hello to whom I know is out there, because I can see Tina, Sarah, Sybil, Julie, Carol, Deborah, Philip, and I know some of those have got people with them, so Shabbat Shalom to all of you and to those whose names I can't see due to my technical facilities here. So now we're at the top of page 85, Psalm 84. How lovely are your dwelling places, God of the hosts of heaven. My soul longs and yearns for your courts. My heart and flesh sing for joy to you, the living God. As the sparrow finds a home and the swallow has a nest where she may lay her young, so seek out your altars, my sovereign and my God. Happy are those who dwell in your house, who are ever singing your praise. Happy are those who find their strength in you, whose hearts are full of your praise. Passing through the driest valley, they find it a place of springs, blessed with pools by the early rains. They go from strength to strength. They appear before God in Zion. God of the hosts of heaven, hear my prayer. Give ear, O God of Jacob. One day in your courts is better than 1,000 elsewhere. I would rather stand at the threshold of your house than recline in tents of wickedness. Eternal God, you are a sun and a shield. Your gifts are grace and glory. You withhold no good thing from those who walk uprightly. Eternal ruler of the hosts of heaven, happy are those who trust in you. And now at the bottom of page 86. Dara yekra levein bat Yen sarchem kamo vavat naim shemchem velo yushbat shavu vanochu bayom Shabbat Darash navi va'olami va'ot yeshaseimi natasorek betokarmi shai Shabbat b'nei ami Da'ei hachma lenafshecha v'hichet el roshecha natzor mitzvat kadoshecha shamo Shabbat kodshecha. That's obviously not a traditional Jewish tune. That is a folk song. And I heard somebody singing that prayer to that song on a Canadian website, and I borrowed it with their permission. So now we're going to do, I got thumbs up from Sandra, so that's good. And now we're on to L'Chadodi on page 91. L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela Shamo v'zacho b'dibur echad Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad Adonai echad u'shamo echad L'shemo tiferet v'litila L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela Likrat Shabbat l'chu v'nelecha Ki hi mekor habracha Merosh mikedem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'mashvat tefila L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela Hitoreri Ki va'orek u'miori Uri shir taberi Kavod Adonai alayich nigla L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela Boi v'shalom ateret bala Gam b'simcha u'v'tzolo Tochenu le'am segula Boi chala L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela L'Chadodi likrat kala B'nei Shabbat mekabela. Please stand if you'd like to. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Please sit down if you are standing. We praise you, eternal one, our God, sovereign of the universe, whose word brings on the evening, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, and whose will sets the stars in their courses in the sky. You make day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light. You make day pass and bring on the night, and separate day from night. You rule the hosts of heaven. We praise you, O God, whose word makes evening fall. Let's read Ahavat Olam in English together. Unending love have you shown your people, the house of Israel. Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts have you taught us. When we lie down and when we rise up, we will reflect on the meaning of your laws and rejoice in the words of your Torah and in your mitzvot forever. On them we will meditate day and night, for they are our life and the length of our days. May our love never depart from us. We praise you, O God. You love your people, Israel. And now we're on to page 94 for the Shema. So please stand or sit as you choose. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha, v'chol nafshecha, u'v'chol modecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh, asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha. V'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarata bam. V'shiftecha b'veitecha, v'lechtecha v'aderech, u'v'shachbecha u'v'kumecha. V'chisharatam le'ot al yadecha, v'hayu l'totefot bein einecha, v'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'sharecha. Leman tizkaru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kadoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, liot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt, forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly, we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together. Mi chamocha b'elem Adonai, mi chamocha netar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef ele, nora tehilot osef ele. top of page 96. V'ne'emar, ki fada Adonai et Yaakov, ug'alo miyad chazak mimenu, Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. Let's read together in English. Grant, eternal God, that we may lie down in peace, and let us rise up to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with your wise counsel, and for your name's sake be our help. Shield us from sickness and war, from famine and distress, and keep us from wrongdoing. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, for you are our guardian and deliverer, a gracious and merciful God. Guard our going out and our coming in, that now and always we may have life and peace. We praise you, O God. May your sheltering peace descend on us and all who dwell on earth. Baruch atah Adonai haporei sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol yoshvei tevel. Let's stand for the Amidah. Adonai sofatai tiftach ufi agita hilatecha. Eternal God, open my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, v'Konei Hakol, v'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים, אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צומק נופלים ועופר גולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשלי עפר. ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. קדוש אתה ונורא שמך, ואין לנו אלוה מבלעדיך, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. I can see a few more people who are there now. Seymour and Liz, Shabbat Shalom. Natalia, Shabbat Shalom. Simon, Shabbat Shalom. And lovely. We'll continue at the bottom of page 98. We thank you, O God, for this Sabbath day, which calls us to a closer communion with you. Though you are near to us at all times, you reveal your presence most clearly when we direct our thoughts towards you in worship and meditation. In you, O God, our humanity is exalted. You are our life. From you come its greatness, its power, its beauty. Establish in us, we humbly pray, a devotion to you that shall be firm in all the circumstances of life. May this service renew in our hearts the sense of your presence, and bring us peace. V'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לתורותם, ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת שבת וינפש, שבת שבת v'yinafesh. And on the top of page 100. Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu, Ratzei v'mnuchatenu, Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, V'tein chalkeinu b'toratecha, Sab'enu mituvecha, V'samchenu b'shuatecha, V'taha lebeinu la'ovtecha be'emet, V'chanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, V'ahava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha, V'yanuchu v'Yisrael makadshesh shemecha, Baruch Ata Adonai, Makadesh HaShabbat. And Shabbat Shalom to Jill and to James, whom I've just spotted there out in the wide world. Okay. Ratzei Adonai Eloheinu, Ba'amacha Yisrael, U'tefilatam ve'ahava tekabel, U'tehila ratzon, Tamid avodat Yisrael, Amecha Yisrael, Amecha, Baruch atah Adonai, shehotecha levatecha b'yirah navod, navod, navod. Let's read together in English. We give thanks that you, Eternal One, our God, as you are the God of our ancestors. You are the rock of our life, the power that shields us in every age. We thank and praise you for our lives, which are in your hand, for our souls, which are in your keeping, for your presence we encounter every day, and for your wondrous gifts at all times, morning, noon, and night. We praise you, O God, source of goodness, to whom our thanks are due. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha, Tasim le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon, Echol ha-shalom. Ki atahu melech adon, Lechol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav Tasim leolam. Keep singing. I've got a call. Tasim leolam, shalom rav al Yisrael amcha. Tasim leolam, tasim leolam. Apologies for that, everybody. I thought I was going to last out till the silent prayer before I had my water, and I didn't. And so now we will take some time for silent prayer, whether you're at home or whether you are here in the sanctuary. And obviously, this is a very sad week with dreadful things going on in Afghanistan and in all the countries where people are fleeing and trying to resettle as refugees. So I'm sure they'll be in our thoughts. Yehayu l'ratzon imrefi v'hekyon libi lefanecha. Yehayu l'ratzon imrefi v'hekyon libi lefanecha. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, V'goali. Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, Adonai Tzuri, V'goali. Okay. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about tomorrow's Torah portion, or this weekend's Torah portion. And I'm actually going to read a bit of it because it's fabulous. And so I'm going to read a few verses in English, and then I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. So it's Deuteronomy 26, and the parsha is called Ki Tavo, and of course we're right near the end of the 5 books of Moses here, because of course we begin again at Simchat Torah. When you enter the land that your God is giving you as a heritage, and you occupy it and settle in it, you shall take the first fruits of all the produce of the soil which you harvest from the land that your God is giving you, and put them in a basket. Then you shall go to the place that your God will choose to establish his name. There you shall go to the priest in charge at that time and say to him, I acknowledge this day to the eternal your God that I have indeed come to the land which the Eternal swore to our fathers to give us. The priest shall take the basket from your hand and set it down in front of the altar of your God. And then you shall declare before the eternal your God. This is what you shall declare, and I think it might be familiar to you. My father was a wandering Aramean. He went down to Egypt and sojourned there with a small family. There he became a nation, great, mighty, and numerous. The Egyptians treated us harshly and oppressed us. They imposed hard labor on us. We cried to the God of our fathers. The Eternal heard our cry and saw our affliction, our trouble, and our oppression. The Eternal brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand and outstretched arm, with great awe and signs and wonders. The Almighty brought us to this place and gave us this land, a land flowing with milk and honey. Therefore I have now brought the first fruits of the products of the soil, which you, O God, have given me. You shall then set the basket before the Eternal your God and bow low before the Eternal your God. You shall enjoy, together with the Levite and the stranger in your midst, all the good things which the Eternal has given you and your household. So now, if I was in my role in teacher in Beitenu, I would be saying, hands up who recognises that passage, because I can say it here, hands up who recognises that passage. Where is it from? Pesach, yes, it's here, yes, everybody knows. It's in the Haggadah. So that's where it comes from, Deuteronomy 26, and lots of us will be used to reading those words every year and maybe didn't realise exactly where it came from and when. So now I'm just going to say a few things about it, to which I am partly indebted to the late Lord Sachs, who of course wouldn't approve of me as a female standing in the liberal short and giving you a sermon, but I like his Torah writings because they're always really interesting. So he quoted a guy called Howard Gardner, Professor of Education and Psychology at Harvard University. And he said this: Howard Gardner argues that what makes a leader is the ability to tell a particular kind of story, one that explains ourselves to ourselves and gives power to a collective vision. Moses spends most of the book of Deuteronomy retelling the national story to the new generation, because they've been in the wilderness for 40 years. It's not just the same people who left Egypt. There's a new generation. Moses reminds them of what God had done for their parents and also of some of the mistakes their parents had made on the journey. So Moses, as well as being the liberator, is the supreme storyteller. But it's more than a story. It's more than being a storyteller, because he now tells the people that when they enter the land, they must bring the first ripened fruits to the temple as a way of giving thanks. But merely bringing the fruits wasn't enough. Each person had to make a declaration. And that declaration became one of the best known passages in the Torah, because although it was originally said at the festival of Shavuot, which is the festival of first fruits, in post-biblical times, it became a central element of the Haggadah on Seder night. And so here, for the first time, is the retelling of our nation's history, and it becomes an obligation for every citizen of the nation. In this act, known as Vidui Bikurim, the confession made over first fruits, Jews were commanded to become a nation of storytellers. The great questions in the world: who are we? Why are we here? What is our task? Are best answered by telling a story. This is fundamental to understanding why Torah is the kind of book it is. Not a theological treatise, but a series of stories extended over time and linked together. The command to tell the national story when bringing the first fruits is a remarkable development. The injunction to remember felt as a religious imperative to an entire people. The declaration gives the entire history of the nation in summary form, in a few short sentences. Throughout Deuteronomy, Moses warns the people no less than 14 times not to forget. If they forget the past, they'll lose their identity and sense of direction, and disaster will follow. Moreover, not only are the people commanded to remember, they're also commanded to hand that memory on to their children, which is why we have the Seder every year. This entire phenomenon represents a remarkable cluster of ideas about identity as a matter of collective memory, about the ritual retelling of the nation's story, and above all about the fact that every one of us is a guardian of that story and memory, not the leader alone. It's a kind of democracy that we find in Judaism. The great leaders tell the story of the group, but the greatest of leaders, Moses, taught the group to become a nation of storytellers. So I thought that was interesting, and it also made me think about the work that we do of passing on the memory of the Holocaust as well, which in the same way as we pass on the memory of the Israelites leaving Egypt, we do also in the work that we do in KLS and in Kingston more widely, try to pass on to a new generation and to school children in the area the story of the Holocaust. And this is leading up to an advert that I'm just beginning to plan, Holocaust Memorial Day 2022. So if anybody hasn't been involved in volunteering in this project, you can get in touch with me if you would like to. It's going to have to be different next year because we're still not over the virus, and it's going to be a scheme that we run in schools rather than in our own buildings, where we probably can't have hundreds of children, unvaccinated children, crowded together. But nevertheless, the work will go on. So, concluding prayers. We're on page 520. We're on page 520. Yeah, we are. I'm just going to give Craig notice that I haven't got the yard site list in front of me, so in a moment I shall... Oh, is it? There's nothing here. There's nothing here. I could probably find it on my phone, but that might be not so good when I'm on camera. Please stand for the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shavech l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה לסבר בראשית, אשר שם חלקנו לאחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגופי מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו. וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. Let's read together on page 521. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honour. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz v'yom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shamo is coming up. Yes, Craig's going to come and read out the yacht sites because I was slightly disorganised.
Okay, first, so this week's yacht sites are Musa Zadeh, father of Jamie Zadeh, Yetta Lyons, the mother of Philip Lyons, Faye Reed, the grandmother of Barbara Richards, Harry Reed, the grandfather of Barbara Richards, Charles Gold, father of Blanche Seffert, and Ken Simmons, the husband of Vicky Simmons.
So, yes, and as Sandra, number one, is saying here, everybody who has died in the Afghanistan disaster, and those people in hospital as well, we should think of as well. So we're on page 522. Creator of the universe, you give us life in which joys and sorrows are commingled in accordance with your wisdom, and you send death with its promise of eternal peace. Teach us to accept humbly and courageously whatever burden is laid upon us. Comfort those who mourn, and let the light of faith illumine the darkness of their sorrow with the hope of immortality. Strengthen us at all times with an unfailing trust in your providence. And on page 524, Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma tivrach hirotei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'gala v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam le'omei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithada v'yithaleh v'yithalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata tamiram ba'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Say shalom v'imromav Hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru amen. Please have a seat. So, announcements. I don't know if you want to say anything particular, Craig. So, there has been an email, and I assume for those who don't have email, there's been a letter about High Holy Days arrangements, and just in case not everybody reads everything, I should just draw your attention to the COVID safety arrangements for the High Holy Days for those who wish to book a seat in the building. We hope lots of people will book a seat in the building, but you are required to do a lateral flow test before coming for obvious reasons, and there's various other measures in there. Events. Tomorrow evening, Saturday evening, there's a Selichot service led by Rebecca Weddell and the choir. Selichot is like a kind of preview of the High Holy Days with, it's quite a short service, but with some prayers and songs for the High Holy Days to get one into the swing of those. And then there'll be, there's a bat mitzvah next weekend on Saturday morning, the last one in the current tranche that we've had quite a lot in the past year, so that would be lovely. That's on the 4th, and then there's Rosh Hashanah, and then Beit Elu starts again on the 11th, and there'll be a family service with guest speaker, student Rabbi Gabriel Sandra Webber. And for those who are asking if he's going to bring his baby, I think so. Any key things to say? Anybody going?
Well, did you mention tomorrow Janet's doing a service from a pub in Cardiff?
Cool. Very, very cool. So, yeah, that's going to be a different one.
the pub?
Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay, so let's go for
And also the next weekend is the AGM weekend, followed by a picnic and games in the park on Sunday.
So many things going on. How fabulously vibrant our community is. So last time I chose an Adon Olam, Sandra and Paul didn't like the tune. So this time we're going to do a more traditional tune. And Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem kol yitzin nivra Adon Olam, li'ed nasa, v'hefzo kol, Azam Olam Shemo nikra Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Hashem Olam, B'terem kol yitzin nivra, li'ed nasa, v'hefzo kol, Azam Olam Shemo nikra. V'acharei kivlot hakol levado lo Adon Olam v'hu haya v'hu hover v'hu yeh b'tifara Adon Olam Adon Olam Hashem Olam b'terem kol yitzin nivra li'ed nasa v'chefzo kol Azam Melech Shemo nikra V'hu echad v'yein sheni Lahashiro lahachbiro Adon Olam B'li reishit b'li tachlit B'lo ha'oz v'ha'mizra Adon Olam Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol yitzin nivra li'ed nasa v'chefzo kol Azam Melech Shemo nikra v'hu eli v'chai goli v'tzuchev li beit zara Adon Olam v'hu nisi u'manos li melech kasi b'yom ekra Adon Olam Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol yitzin nivra li'ed nasa v'chefzo kol Azam Melech Shemo nikra B'yado av kidruchi v'tishan v'ayira Adon Olam v'imruchi g'viati Adon Eli v'lo'ira Adon Olam Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol yitzin nivra li'ed nasa v'chefzo kol Azam Melech Shemo nikra. Please stand. Into your hand I place my soul, asleep, awake, for you are near, and with my soul, my body too. You are my God. I shall not fear. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shalom.
Now,